Social Zoom Factor episode 258.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. All right, today we are talking about creativity and ideas for content marketing. Even if you are a person who literally every day wants to just hit your head against the table or the wall or any hard object that you can find because you just don't know what to post on social or digital or your web or wherever you are. Maybe you don't even know how to talk to your significant other or kids or the mailman. This podcast today is going to help you. I'm going to give you some ideas, even if you are not a creative type. Okay. Even if you're not a writer or a blogger or a YouTuber or a Facebooker or a tweeter or whatever you want to call yourself. And you're not any of those things. You're like, I am not creative. You're going to leave this podcast today and you're going to have a boatload of ideas. Now, one of the first things you also need to do is you need to download our content calendar, because if you struggle with not having enough ideas, or you have so many ideas popping out of your head that you just want to lose your mind because you don't have enough time to do them, which is me, you need a content calendar to organize all those thoughts and organize your content and plan that content. So head straight over to themarketingnutz.com/calendar Zoom, and you will get our brand new 2019 content calendar template. And it also includes November and December of 2018. So that is what you need. Head straight over there. But let's go ahead and dig in. And I'm going to give you 10 plus ideas. I think there's like 13 or 14 here, plus lots of sub ideas that you're going to get for content. So you are going to get your time and your value, hopefully, out of this podcast today. So let's dig straight in. Now, the first reminder I want to give you when it comes to content ideation and creation, thou shalt not steal or borrow content. You can't just go search on the web for what your competitors are doing and copy it and steal their ideas. Okay? Don't do that. When you do that, you are only building their brand, their ideas, validating who and what they are and what they're talking about. You need to validate yourself. You need to find your own way to stand out from the crowd. And yes, you can look to see what's working from your competition on tools like BuzzSumo and all of the Google tools that are out there. We'll talk about a few of those in a minute. But you should not be doing that research to just steal their ideas and never coming up with your own. All right. Content marketing is the art of communicating with your dream customers without selling to them. Okay, you don't have to sell to them. When you are doing good content marketing, you're communicating with them. And that's why you can't just go copy somebody else's content. It's like if you were at a networking meeting, would you go copy everything somebody else was saying, like your competition was saying at a networking event? You would look like a freakazoid, right? If you just started copying everything they said to everybody, you would probably be laughed out of the event. Same thing goes online, right? You need to have your own conversations, your own communication style, your own tonality and way that you present yourself, okay? So I want you to take the time to brainstorm ideas. And when you do that, you're going to prevent random acts of marketing and content marketing. And it's going to increase the ROI of your content. It's going to help you facilitate buy-in from your team members, from your employees, from your executives, your board of directors. And eventually, if you keep copying, you're going to run out of ideas, right? You're not going to be able to copy forever. So you need to start to develop a process where you can have a never-ending flow of content ideation. And we teach a lot of these methodologies inside of our Social Profit Factor Academy, and specifically also inside of our content mastery strategy course, where we really help our students put together, these plans and ideation so that they can do it quickly, but it has such a long ROI. So if you struggle with this, I really encourage you to check out our academy, the Social Profit Factor, and dig into that. The number one rule when you start brainstorming is that there truly is no bad idea. And the most silly idea may lead you to the winning idea. And I spent 15 plus years in corporate America working on some very large brands, as well as I worked in some startups. But we did some amazing work. And I'll tell you, some of the most innovative and successful campaigns we did started with the most silly idea, like the most silly image that just sparked something. So I think that is a rule that should never be violated. There's no bad idea. There's no dumb idea. The guy that is laughing about something on a piece of toilet paper, can lead you to the best idea that you have. So you got to write everything down. If you're using a whiteboard, I love whiteboards. Every idea needs to go up there. You also need to make sure that you're curious, right? Knowledge is power, and never think that you know everything. There's always room for growth and for you to have a new perspective. And your ideas are going to come a lot easier when you know yourself and you know your audience and you know how you are going to serve them, which is why you need to be thinking about your goals and your objectives and, who is that audience that you're serving? How are you going to define those buyer personas, and what are those top problems that they have, right? I'm not going to go into that today in this podcast, but you need to begin to answer those questions. And if you need to get some help from somebody, call us or, join our academy. But you need to know who you're selling to, who you want to communicate with. What are those problems they have, and how are you going to solve those problems? So let's talk about how you're going to source some ideas. You're going to source some ideas first. I do want you to do some research online. And I want you to look at things like the Google AdWords tool and the Google Search Console. I want you to just do some searches there, and I want you to see what are the types of keywords that your ideal audience is searching for, right? What are the words that they're using? Not the language that you use, not the exact keywords that you use. What words is your audience, your target buyer using? Also do some searches on the different social networks, right? And see what is coming up. What are the top hashtags? What are the things that the top industry blogs are blogging about, and top YouTube videos and podcasts, right? Do a search for, a topic on iTunes, for example, and see what are those top podcasts that rise to the top. And look at platforms like Quora, where people are asking questions. Different tools like BuzzSumo is great for helping you do research as well, where you can see top content and influencers very, very easily. Quote Garden is if you like to share inspirational quotes and that type of thing, that's a really easy place where you can go pull some good quotes on all different topics. And quotes are some of the most shared content, particularly on platforms like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And, for a long time, I used to always share quotes every single morning when I first hopped on to Twitter, and had very good results doing that. So if you are one of those people that loves to be inspired every morning and loves to inspire others, you definitely need to start posting some, quotes, and choose some of the top authors that inspire you, and then, put some visuals with those and just watch how they get shared like crazy. And then SlideShare is another place to source ideas. And that's where people post presentations primarily, now owned by LinkedIn. But that's a great place to see how others are putting content together and what's being searched for. And a great way to search for SlideShare is to actually do Google searches. And I found that the Google searches are actually better than the searches on SlideShare. So, and even SlideShare, we've had some discussions with them. They admit that. So you definitely want to do that. So Let's talk about number 2. Okay, so we talked about first step is you want to source ideas by searching and looking at some of those top tools that are out there to see what others are talking about. Number 2 is industry information. So I want you to do that double click to see what is the industry data that people are talking about, and what is the industry data that your customer needs. You know, what information is going to help them beat their competition, and what kind of content could you be providing that's going to help establish you as a thought leader or an expert. Are there quarterly reports that are coming out from a third party in your industry, or a top, maybe it's a consultant or research firm that's always publishing content. Think about how can you maybe partner with some top industry influencers and, establish content maybe on a consistent basis with live video or webinar, that type of thing. Number 3 is opinions, trends, and predictions. So I really want you to be having an opinion with your content. You don't always have to just be boring, right? We want to be humanizing our content and write an opinion piece on something that's going on in your industry or service that, a product or topic that is hot right now. And then do a deep dive maybe on top trends or a hot technology. Maybe predict of something of, or a list of predictions of what you believe is going to happen in your industry or niche. Okay, that's great information. And then number 4, leverage other people's content. So this would be writing an opinion piece, possibly on someone else's article or blog post or YouTube video. Maybe embed somebody else's video from YouTube onto a blog post. You could do my favorite types of posts. So here's my favorite, podcasts or blog posts or videos on this specific topic. Do a top 5 resources and maybe just link to and recommend other services and tools that can help your ideal customer. Number 5 is ask your customers and your community what they need, right? Nothing better than actually asking your customer. So you could deliver a survey. You could do that through email, through a social network. You could, just put out a social media post asking for feedback. You could use a social media platform polling feature like the Facebook polls or the Twitter polls, or even the Instagram has the polls now. You can ask people at face-to-face events if you ever do any speaking, even at like a local chamber. I serve on the board of directors I'm in a marketing role for our local Chamber of Commerce here, Lake Nona Chamber of Commerce, Regional Chamber of Commerce. And we have speakers that come in often, and obviously we speak and train as well. But I love gathering feedback when I have a room full of, 50 to 100 small business leaders. It's the perfect time to say, what are you doing? How's this working? Tell me, what are you doing? I mean, even if you're just speaking, you don't have to do a formal survey or poll. You can just look them in the eye and say, how is that working for you? Like, what's the greatest challenge you have going on right now? And then you can also obviously do, true focus groups, that type of thing, where you're bringing them in. Maybe it's a little bit more formal. You're sitting down with a small group of them and asking questions and doing some more formal research. Number 6 idea is top customer questions. So I want you to answer the top customer questions, not just publish a list of questions, but I want you to answer those questions. The questions that could be as deep as, what's keeping your customer up at night? What do they not understand? What do they want to do better? What are their most common obstacles to success? What are their obstacles to buying from you? What do they need to know how to do? And what could help them better serve their customers or their family or their community better? That can work really good. Number 7 is save time and money tips. So anything that is going to save somebody time and money is going to make them love you. Okay, if you can save me money and you can save me time and you can maybe add efficiency to my life or business, make me more productive, tell me how I can accomplish more in less time. How can I maximize my investment in time and money? How can I avoid costs? How can I avoid a headache or a hard process? How can you make something more efficient for me? I'm going to give you a big, fat virtual hug. So really, if you are in a business where you are helping somebody save time and save money or both, you need to market the heck out of that. You need to really be leveraging that because that is hot right now. And none of us have enough money or time to do all the things we want to do in this amazing world. Number 8 is creating some helpful guides and resources. So you always hear me talk about those pinnacle pieces of content, right? So where we can create once and use many. This would be an example, a helpful guide and a resource. You're going to spend a little bit more time on this, but the payoff is going to be big. Okay, so maybe it's a guide on the top technology and tools, maybe top service providers, top blogs, videos, podcasts, learning resources, top industry leaders, top tips for success, top questions to ask, content calendar template. Why do you think I provide that? Because people love it. It provides them maximum value. It's something you are able to leverage all year long. I mean, I have people who have downloaded our calendar and they have used it for multiple years. I mean, we have had, I think, close to 100,000 people that have downloaded and are using that content calendar. Go grab it at themarketingnuts.com/calendar Zoom. And remember, it's Marketing Nuts with a Z. Number 9 is behind the scenes. So I want you to humanize your brand by sharing the crazy factor, the fun factor, the serious factor, the meeting factor, the lunch factor. You can do anything from short Facebook story videos, live videos, photos, behind the scenes, a day in the life of. If you have somebody on your team that's a little bit of a photo ham and video ham and they like to get out there and share themselves, give them the camera for the day. Take somebody on a drive with your CEO and go to some meetings with them or go to some networking events, a day in the life of. Take them to a meeting with your team. So take the phone with you and then you're taking your customer on that journey. What do you do in a day? Take them to visit a customer. Share photos of a special event or a celebration, maybe photos of your team serving a charity or a community, a tour of your office or your workspace. And did you know, for this next tip, fun fact, that people follow visual instructions 323% better than written instructions. So I want you to think about this when we talk about this next tip, which is how-to information. So detailed how-to information, step-by-step guides, software, hardware demonstrations, how to build something, how to plant something, how to grow something, how to find something, how to create something from scratch, how to trap a cat. I mean, there's some people that are in the cat trapping business. We have some wild feral cats where we live, and I'm telling you, our family's learned a lot about trapping cats. So thank goodness there were some people that wrote some blog posts out there about how to trap cats, who to contact, what to do, right? It helped us get in contact with the right people. So whatever you do, I'm sure you could come up with ideas for how-to questions and answers, right? Next, we have review your past content and look for trends. So I want you to look at what were your top blog posts? What were the top videos, social media posts, podcasts, email marketing, visual marketing, live or recorded trainings, webinars, live event presentations. Like, what have you produced? What were the results? What was the content people liked? What was the content people didn't like? If you have been creating content, even for a short period of time, there is gold in that data, my friend. So you need to dig into that data and see what you can learn from it. Then we have top 5 or top 10. So top 5 tips to build a blank. What are you building? Top 5 tips to overcome something. Top 10 tips to achieve something. Solve this problem. How do they solve it? Top 5 things to never do if you want to do something. Top 5 things you must do if you want to achieve this. Top 5 ways to save time doing this. There we are with the saving time. Top 5 ways to save money doing this. Top 5 best ways to do something. Top 5 blog posts of the year. Top lists work great. That's why you're listening to this podcast. You wanted some top ideas for you to create content marketing. And as if you've listened to my podcast before, you know, in the past, a lot of my colleagues have given me a really hard time. And they're like, Pam, why do you create all these stupid top 10 posts? Well, let me show you my Google Analytics. You want to see my conversion rates on, opt-ins and sales and everything we do? People like lists. I don't care whether you are brand new to the topics I talk about and teach on, or whether you're a C-level executive that have been doing this. People like us to create content that we can keep concise for them, where they know what they're going to get out of it. They know that you've put time into organizing it. Next, we have be an inspiration. Okay. So important as we head into 2019. I mean, I have always been of the belief that we inspire our audiences to connect with us with the goal of helping them achieve their goals. And when we do that, we all win. Because when we help our audience achieve their objectives, we achieve ours by default. So inspire, connect, achieve. How can you inspire your customer to stay motivated, to never give up, to take risks and invest where they need to take action that could change their business or life, to not lose hope, to put themselves out there and feel confident, to perform better, to streamline a process, to achieve more, right? How can you provide that inspiration? And then we have quotes and inspiration. I talked a little bit about this, but quotes from your favorite authors, your industry leaders. You can do videos and blog posts, stories that inspire you. Share what inspires you to help inspire others. And when I first started out online, that's something I spent a lot of time doing, I was grabbing the things that were motivating and inspiring me, because I was leaving corporate. I was leaving a fat paycheck of comfort, right? Big benefits, big money, big bonuses, big everything. But I wasn't happy with all that stuff. I needed more. I needed to be able to help real people like you. And so I was out there reading blog posts and listening to podcasts and watching videos and listening to music. And I was sharing that inspiration that I found that was keeping me going. So even if you're going through a tough time, share a little bit about that. Share your journey. And when you share words or thoughts or videos or music or quotes of inspiration of what's inspiring you, you're going to inspire others, and you're going to end up creating an amazing community of people that are attracted to you organically, meaning they see your content and they fall in love with just the way you think and what you're going through, because they can relate to that, or they've been there and they've done that. And I could just go on and tell you story after story of clients that came to us because they love that we shared our journey. And there were some Fortune big brands, 10 and 20 brands that came to us and said, I love that you were a startup and you put it out there, right? I was attracted to that. We love investing in startups. So don't be afraid. You don't need to act bigger than you are. You need to inspire people by being who you are and sharing that real journey. It's so very important. Then we have recapping live events or training. So create a recap blog post or video or podcast on, maybe an event that you attend or host, a training seminar, a webinar that you watch and learn from. So just, share that content that you are learning from and then do a recap of it. Now, be careful if it's something that you've paid for and that is proprietary, confidential information. You can't share every training seminar you go to, obviously. And a lot of event hosts don't even like you to share live video feeds. So you got to make sure you have approval for that. And webinars, same thing. People may not want you publishing every single thing that you learn, but you could definitely take quotes out, specific ideas or learnings, and always give credit where credit is due. Make sure, if you're getting the information from somebody, that you quote them. And then, that's really going to help you tap into other people's content and other people's community when you give credit where credit is due. And then, maybe that person or that brand is going to share your resource because you included them. That can really help you increase that brand awareness. And so then next we have holidays and special events. Okay. So every day is a holiday for somebody, it seems. So, we can use visual images from everything from hot dog day, donut day, pretzel day, puppy day, kitty day. I mean, you name it. We have a day for everything. So visual images, quotes, find trending and relevant content that you can share, content that other people have already created. This is something really good to put into that content calendar, that you really are looking at the holidays and you make sure that you are getting, tapping into the holidays that best support your brand and best are going to attract your dream customers. If you were targeting an audience who doesn't eat any red meat, you're not going to want to be tweeting about National Steak Day and do some big campaign on that, right? If you're targeting like a plant-based type of customer that only eats greens. So that's where you really need to choose some of these things wisely. And then, create fun videos and images that include your team and around these holidays and special days. And there is quite a few resources out there that you can go out to Google and just search for, holidays and special days. And there is one at timeanddate.com/holidays/fun. And you can go get a whole list of special days from there. And then last but not least, okay, if you've listened to this podcast and you have one of those days where you still don't have ideas, you need to get out of your own way and you need to go take a vacation. You need to take a staycation, even if you just go take a long summer or winter's nap, unplug and do a digital detox for a few days, because you need to create some headspace in your head so you can ideate and you can think and you can have some fun. And it's amazing what happens when you unplug. So maybe follow and listen to people who inspire you. So I'm a big addict when it comes to listening to tech talk and, tips, and just like, I love listening to geeky people and people in my industry. But sometimes I have to in the morning because I listen to a lot of YouTube videos and podcasts as I'm getting ready in the bathroom. And lately, I've really been trying to just really listen to more inspirational content. So I'm not always so geeky because I need to turn off my brain. And I'm one of those people that I have a really hard time turning off. Sometimes I'll just turn off YouTube altogether, Facebook video altogether, and I'll just listen to music, right? So whatever you need to do, you need to unplug and try something different, right? If you're never having ideas and you just feel that you can't concentrate, you need to just kind of hit reset, go lay out on a quiet field or go up to the mountains or the beach. I don't know where you live, but go do something that is relaxing and is going to make you feel better and serene, and let those content juices flow. So there you have it. I know I gave you a ton of ideas, probably more than you're going to be able to understand, but go definitely check out our content calendar. There'll be some opportunities for you to grab some other resources that will help you. And just go to themarketingnuts.com/calendar Zoom. I'll see you on the next episode. That's a wrap.
If you're ready to Zoom your business and Zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.